Hey, what's up, everybody? It's that guy, Skimpy, and this is Tackle Talk with Skimp, where I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of different bait makers, whether they pour jigs or pour plastics or make swim baits or airbrush or modify molds or even making molds. Anything that has to do with bait making and tackle, I want to talk about it. So let's go. Oh my God! Look at it. Dinko mold. This is the 5-inch one. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Question number 1. What's your name and where are you from?
How you doing? My name is David DiPaolo. I am currently living in Lowell, Indiana, northwest corner just outside of Chicago. And in 7 days, we close on this house and we're moving out towards Maggie Valley, North Carolina, and the western tip out towards Tennessee.
Awesome. All right, question number 2 is, where can we find you? Like what social media platforms and all that good stuff?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Under what name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just under Bluline Baits.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
Okay. Question number 3 is, how long have you been fishing?
If I look at, I started probably when I was about 11 years old. So about 48 years.
Okay. All right. And so when you started fishing, did you just originally start targeting bass or?
No, you know what? My grandpa and my uncle actually took me out and we did a little bit of pan fishing.
Okay.
You know, little bluegill and little fish. They were about this big, but in my eyes,
oh, they're huge.
That's
awesome.
They were this big, man.
Yeah,
they were like up to here. But I would say I started targeting into bass probably in my late 20s.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, that being said, would you rather fish for largemouth or smallmouth bass?
You know, it's a good toss up. I just recently started getting into some of the smallmouth because I help sponsor some river circuits up here, up in northern Indiana, and they do a lot of smallmouth up here, especially Lake Michigan.
Okay.
But I got to go tried and true, man. I got to go with largemouth.
All right.
And I was just I was just sitting there going, I got to stick with my largemouth because my PB isn't anything like, oh my God, it's extraordinary. But my PB is 614. But what I caught it on, and where I caught it on an old Tornado spinnerbait from Bass Pro Shops back in the day. And I caught it at night in a big old pond. And it just turns out that this bass was sitting in an old refrigerator thrown in the pond. I went back the next day to see right where I caught it. And this sucker was sitting in a refrigerator. Yeah. 614 is my PB.
That's a nice bass, though. Okay. Question number 5 is, what got you started making your own baits?
Yeah, I was invited out to do some fishing, and I was told to bring out a specific color bait lure. Man, I searched high and low, couldn't find them. I got as close as I could. I wasn't catching nothing. Right. My partner threw me exactly what he told me to look for, and I started popping them in. And I'm like, man, I said, I couldn't find them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do this. You know, I said, you know what? I'm just looking at these things. I'm like, I bet I can make these things. Yep. And I just had it up here that I needed to learn how to make it so that I never ran into this problem again.
Exactly. Now look at you. You're making them yourself.
That's right.
Okay. So what is your favorite bait or color combination that you love to make? What's your favorite one?
You know, I would probably have to lean towards, I would have to look at the Epic Bait Molds, the Bubbler Frog.
Yep.
I love shooting that frog, and I love throwing it. I just love it. I love the natural colors when I shoot that frog. And then when I shoot a real close second, but I'd have to put it right up there as the trooper mold from Anglin AI.
Okay.
And if I'm doing any type of trailers, man, I love shooting that white pearl with like violet in it.
Yep, definitely.
This is like my favorite colors, man.
Yeah. All right. So I got to know, what is the bait or color that you hate to make?
Tubes.
Yep.
I hate tubes, man. I've got the original Anglin AI tubes where it just shoots on the rod.
Yeah.
And then I got to pull it out. But I mean, thank God I don't have to sit there and cut them or do a little razor. I've got the Anglin AI the tail cutter.
Yeah.
That big like hammer looking like Thor's hammer, and I got that. But I can only do those one at a time.
Yeah.
So that's the worst. I cringe whenever somebody puts in an order.
Yeah. I feel your pain because how I make tubes is one at a time as well. It's actually a mold that has the spline in it, and then it has the tube mold, and then it has a spline that tells you how big of skirt you have. So when you shoot it, it's all intact, no cutting, no nothing, but it's one at a time. So unless you have a bunch of molds, shooting it one at a time takes a long time.
Yeah, but I have to say the worst color ever,
Okay.
ever is white.
100% agree.
White.
It gets contaminated too
Man,
quick.
if it's off,
1 degree over, it starts turning bone color. And
if I accidentally get like a little tiny flake like that,
oh yeah,
you could see that thing 6 miles away.
I agree, man. I hate white. I love fishing it, but I hate making it.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 8. What is some good advice for someone starting out making their own baits?
Well, much like I did when I started, I had to decide this is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And research. Man, research. I cannot tell anybody enough. And I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, I'm thinking about doing something like that. You know what? Go to YouTube, go to TikTok, go to Instagram.
Yeah.
Start looking up bait makers, see what they do, see what the information they have to offer. Then decide if you still want to do that. If you do, then go back and do some more research.
Yeah.
Don't just research for 2 weeks and say, yep, I know what I want to do. No, you got to look into this. I researched for almost a year before I really locked in that I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, question number 9. Is there anything special that you've been working on, and can you show me some of your baits?
The one thing I've been working on a lot lately is packing my house.
Yeah, true. You're moving.
The one thing I really am going to be once I get settled in down there in August and I get settled up at the new shop, I want to do a lot of updating with some molds, and I want to do a lot of updating with some color schemes and stuff like that. Some of the plastics that I was able to find that I had still access to.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And not
was
packed
the one
away.
that I just showed you a minute.
Yeah.
Where it was just a minute ago is I have the G series from here we go from Anglin AI. I really like these. I've got the G3s, the G4s, and the G5s. Yeah, these things are so fun to pour, man. These things are awesome.
It looks great.
And then the tracer molds, not backwards. Here we go. These things are fun, and then you got to get hold of Slims, man. Slims and get some of his open pour stuff. He's the one that makes those molds for the gobies, for the smallmouth. You're a smallmouth dude. You're like the smallmouth, baby. Every time I see you, got a smallmouth in your hand going, yeah.
I'm about 50-50. I just got on a good smallmouth bite, and I also took a trip with the do-itmolds guys. We went to Wisconsin to, Sturgeon Bay. So yeah, and that's all smallmouth. And talk about amazing smallmouth. That if you ever want to get amazing smallmouth, go to Sturgeon Bay, because that thing, it's crazy. That's all I could say. Unless you've been there, it's crazy. Anybody who's been there knows exactly what I'm talking about too.
I lived through my guys that travel north and do smallmouth fishing. So
yeah. All right. Well, I only have one more question for you. Question number 10 is, if you can fish with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
You know, I've always loved this guy. Grew up watching him. Have to be Hank Parker.
Okay.
Yep. I just
solid choice.
Just love him. Just love his demeanor. I just love his just love watching him.
Yep.
It's like watching your uncle on TV.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any more questions for you. Those are the 10 questions, but do you got any shout outs or anything that you want to add, any info you want to give us or anything?
I mean, a big shout out to you, man. I mean, you're like the OG, man. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting into the jigs that I do. I remember the exact first video I watched of yours of a swingtail chatterbait video.
Okay,
of a perch pattern. I
Yep.
loved it. And then when you started making those little stencils, when you started airbrushing those little largemouth bat poison tails,
Yeah.
I made my own and I started doing that. You are such an inspiration for the jig guy, man. I'm telling you, you're one of a kind, brother. It's all to you, man.
Well, hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the support. Funny about those largemouth poison tail, and I actually made them into chatterbaits as well. But I actually went fishing like I think 2 weeks ago with one of my good buddies that I grew up with. I've known since, I don't know, we were 8 years old or something. So anyways, we don't get to hang out that often, but when we do, it's usually fishing or shooting or something. I don't know. So anyways, we go fishing, and he, I was like, hey, do you need any tackle? I pull out my bag and all the stuff that I've made. He goes, no, I got some stuff. And he pulls out that dang largemouth chatterbait when I airbrushed. And he was telling me, he's like, you're not going to ask for this back, right? Because I stole it from you last trip. And we had a really good laugh because so yeah. And I told him, no, you can have it. You can have
That's
it.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all I got for you. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody watching, hopefully you liked the show here. We're going to be...
Skimpy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, no worries, man. Hopefully, people start watching these videos. They start liking them, and I'll get more and more people to interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see who else you got in line.
All right. Well, that's the show. And cut. This is the